manifestation. It is already done. We're waiting for the manifestation. Say it again, yeah. It is already done. It's already done. We're waiting for the manifestation. Oh, it is already done. We're only waiting for the manifestation. It is already done. We're only waiting for the manifestation. So we are only waiting. See, we are only waiting. So we are only waiting. We are only waiting. We are only waiting. We are only waiting. So we are only waiting. We are only for the manifestation of God. For the manifestation himself. Glory of the Lord is here. Glory of the Lord is here. We are only waiting for the manifestation. We're only waiting for the manifestation. Say, we're only waiting. Oh, it is done in Jesus' name. We're once he has spoken, twice have I heard. Say, we are only waiting. That all power belongs to Jesus. So we are only waiting for the manifestation. Say, for the manifestation. Say it again. So we're only waiting. Say, we're only waiting. And we're only waiting. Say, we're only waiting. Say it again. We're only waiting. Say, we're only waiting. And we're only waiting. We're only waiting. So we're only waiting. Say, we're only waiting for the manifestation.
Drive. This is Sunny 88.7 FM. Is day 2 of our Start Right series with Mr. Michael Ohene Efa. And as I said yesterday, you want to grab your phone and get your notepad or your note section or your phone. You want to grab your notebook and a pen or pencil as you put down some notes. I remember from yesterday, he started shedding light on 4 things to do when it comes to setting our goals, determining the outcomes of our life, and to the review of the previous year. And we want to quickly get into today's session with him as he continues on the 4 things we need to do. All right, so Michael, you're welcome to the IMDrive. Remember, we're live on Facebook. You can join us. Please share the link so others can also be blessed by the session with Mr. Michael Ohene Efa. So share is at Sunny FM Ghana. You can also send a WhatsApp or a voice note if you want to contribute or if you have a question concerning some of the nuggets he's going to be sharing this morning. You can send that to 0540 130 684. That is 0540 130 684. So Michael Ohene Efa, day 2. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
How have you been?
I've been doing excellent.
Nice. Good to hear that. So today, as we indicated yesterday, there's a 4-part process or system for setting your goals in a very structured way. Yesterday, we started with 2, which is to determine the outcome, the destination. That's the big things that will influence your life, what you do, how you spend your money, how you spend your efforts. So outcome. And then after you have done that, don't start any year without a review of the previous, because that will speak to you. The review will tell you what to focus on for the year. And so we give a framework for that. Now, the third element in the framework is priorities. So after you have done your review, it will indicate what you must focus on for the new year. So the big question is, what's important to you? In 2023, what's important to you? There are so many competing demands for our time, for our resources, for our energy and everything. But what is important to you? Because the thing with life is that if you don't determine what is important to you, other people will tell you what is important. And they will use your money to fund what is important to them. And they will use your time, your capabilities and competencies to pursue what is important to them.
Okay.
And so you must determine this year, God has given you 52 weeks, 365 days. What is important to you? What do you want to do with your own life this year? You need to be very clear. And I don't encourage people to set more than 5 priorities.
Why would you say that?
Because then it becomes too burdensome if it's a lot. But if it's 3 at the max, then you can really focus on that and get it going or achieve it.
Okay.
Now, what is important doesn't mean you are going to neglect every other thing, but this is the priority. So if there's anything you want to do this year, focus on less. Focus on less.
Okay.
Don't be everywhere. There's a saying that the rolling stone gathers no moss. And a lot of us are doing that. We are in 7 groups at church. Then we are the administrators for 7 WhatsApp groups. And then
old school. Secretary at old school.
Exactly. So you are dissipating your resources, you are dissipating your efforts and your energy. And so you are consistently stressed out. Now you need to clean up. Now we all know when your computer is too loaded, it begins to go slow. It begins to act slow. You issue one command, the cursor just keeps turning until what is the computer telling you? You need to delete some files. And so this year you need to adopt the same approach to deleting certain things from your life. Focus on 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, you will do other things, but this is the priority. This is the focus. And every day when you wake up, in terms of your time and your money, just focus on your priorities. Okay. Now, we are introduced to this. Actually, the person who taught me this is Jesus Christ.
Wow.
When he was 12 years old, they went to the temple.
Yes.
And the Bible says that he was heavily engaged in a theological discussion with some moderators and cardinals, some big people. And then they were on their way back home, and Mary realized that no, Jesus is not with them. So she went back to the temple and said, "Hey, Charlie, why are you here? When we've been worried sick about you, why are you here chatting with big people when we are supposed to be heading?" And she says, "Mom, I must be about my Father's business." So even at 12 years, Jesus knew that he must focus on the reason why he came on earth. He was deadly focused on that. And that's the lesson that we should all adopt to our lives. What is your business? Focus on that. I mean, you run a store in town. Your customers are passing by between 6 and 8 a.m. and yet you open the store at 9 a.m. every day.
Traffic.
And then when your sales are dwindling, you go for pray for me.
Yes.
I mean, what kind of life is that? Be about your business. Focus on that. I mean, if you have to open your shop from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. and that is when you make your sale.
That's your peak time.
That's your peak time. It's better than opening from 9 to 6 and not making any sale. And so what is important to you this year? Is it your spiritual life with God? Is it your work? Is it your marriage? Is it your relationship with your children? Is it your health? Is it that building you want to complete? Is it that investment you want to make? Just focus on about 3 priorities. That this is what I'm going to focus on in 2023. And once I get this done, I know I'm going to live a fulfilled life. Okay. So priorities. Okay. Then we come to the 4th and final element, which is the real action plan for the goal. Now you have focused on 3 priorities, or 4, 5. Let's say you want to check your health. You nowadays it takes you a bit of time to descend staircase. You realize that the bones have started talking to you, so you want to focus on health. Let's say you want to focus on completing your building, because in Ghana everybody has a project. Let's say you want to invest, you want an additional source of income so that the family's security will be assured. And then let's say you want to improve on your relationship. So these are your 4 priorities.
Okay.
Now you are going to do 4 things to these 4 priorities. That's the action plan. You will do 4 things to the 4 priorities, each of these 4 priorities. So for each of your priorities, ask yourself, what is the purpose of this priority? Okay. Purpose. Because the purpose determines the utility or the usage of an item. So you need to be clear with the purpose. Why is this a priority? So why do you want the family to be secure? Why do you need an extra source of income? Why is your health a priority? Why do you want to build that building? Maybe you are tired with landlords telling you what to do, because there are some things that push you into some action. I remember when I was much young, this was my first job. I used to work in Adabraka, not far from here, 1995, I think.
I was a small girl.
That was my first job, and I remember very well that it had rained, and we used to walk from Adabraka to Circle to pick a car. Now it had rained, so we walk in the rain, and when we got to Lido, we had to stand in the queue whilst it was raining, because then you need to pick a car. And a car came, and truck came, we all jumped in, and all of us are soaked because we're standing in the rain. And I remember very well, there was a pretty big woman who was sharing the seat next to me, and every time the maid said, "Achia," she would shift and show me in a certain corner. And that day I purposed that I'll buy a car.
How old were you at the time?
I think I was about 23, 24, thereabout. I said I'll buy a car.
You were motivated by that woman.
So that's the purpose. I wanted to buy a car because I didn't want to hustle when it rained. I didn't want to share space, or imagine all wet, your shoes are dirty and soaked, and you have to sit. So that was.
It is an uncomfortable place to be where you're all wet in a bus.
That's
I was
right.
in that situation one time. I won't forget to.
Yeah. So what's the purpose? Maybe you are fighting too much with other tenants in somebody's house. And so that's the purpose. You want to move to a comfortable place where you know you can train your children well, and there will not be contamination from other people, other area people. So that's the purpose. So give yourself a purpose.
Okay.
Now, once you do that, you give the mind a reason to act.
Okay.
Because without that purpose, you will not be motivated to complete that priority or that project. Then the second one is envision future of the priority. Envision future of the priority. So let's assume your multiple streams of income priority. You want something that will add on so that the family's income. So what is the envision future? The envision future is that you want to see 200,000 Ghana cedis in your bank account by 31st December 2023. So that's what you see. That's what you want. Now, you remember that God doesn't do anything if you can't see it.
You want to say that again?
God does not do anything you can't see. That's why he always asks you. Jesus will see a blind and say, "What do you want from me?" But my Lord, can't you say I'm blind? Why are you asking what I want from you? I want to be healed. But he wants you to see he wants you to believe that you can see. And then he gives you the action. That's how come he had told Abraham, "You'll be the father of many nations." You'll be the father of... Abraham couldn't see it. So he kept going round, and the first side chick in the Bible, Hagar.
This is the first time I'm hearing anyone refer to Hagar this way.
But Abraham couldn't see. So one day God took him out and said, "Look up, count the stars." And he said, "This is the number, this is how your descendants are going to be." And so it was only when he could now picture, he could now see that the miracle started flowing. And so we need to have a clear picture of the envisioned future, so that the mind can conjure, the mind can see it, and then it will move you to action. And so what you want to do, for instance, you want to move to your own 3-bedroom apartment. How would it look like when you have finished it? You must see it every day. You must imagine it every day. You must paint word pictures in your mind of that place. Imagine you sitting in your lawn drinking tea with your spouse, drinking something, the children playing around your lawn. You see that picture every day, said that it motivates you to action. That's the envisioned future. And you do this for all the priorities. So with income stream, I want 200,000 CDs by 31st night. With the house one, I see myself watering my own green grass in this house. I even see the colors. I smell the room. That's how vivid it must be. Now, with the relationship with your spouse, how do you imagine it to be? I see myself strolling, taking a leisurely walk with my spouse around the area because we are so much in love and we are so much at peace with each other. You can see it every day. You are calling it into being, So that's the second one. And then the third one
So
is...
before we go into the third one, you can join us on Facebook. It's day 2 of the Start Right series, right here on the IMDrive with Mr. Michael Ohene-Efa. He's co-founder of Lead Afrique International. You can join us live on Facebook. Be sure to share the link. You can also send us a message via WhatsApp. Maybe you have a question for him. It's 0540-130-684. If you'd love to send a voice note as well, we'd love to hear you ask your question or send in your contribution. It's the IMDrive Sunny 88.7 FM. We're also watching us on Sunny TV. And tomorrow you can also join on Sunny TV. In fact, the entire Start Right series will be live on Sunny TV. And as you're talking about envisioning the future, I see some people do something when they say, okay, this is what I want to achieve in this year. Sometimes they have a picture of it where they can see it every time.
The vision board.
The vision board, or maybe they just frame something as a house.
Yeah.
It's also pretty important to do.
It has both spiritual, psychological, and emotional importance.
Okay.
When we do the vision board. Because, as I said, God will not give you anything you don't see. And your mind itself won't give you anything that is not within its frame. And so when you have pictures that represent your dream, it pulls you towards its achievement and attainment.
Okay.
And so it's very important. Now, if you are listening to us and you're not familiar with the vision board, look it up. Basically, it's a board that has pictures of what you want your ideal life to look like. Okay. And so if you are looking through graphic or a magazine and you see a house, that's the house I want to live in. Cut it. House. Exactly. How do you envision your relationship with your children and your spouse? When you see a couple that represents that, you cut it. When you see a word or a phrase or even a figure that represents the kind of income you like to have, cut it, put it there. So you cut various pictures representing various aspects of your life. Maybe you want to see your children graduate at least with a first degree. You want to reach that level. That is your commitment to yourself, that I want to at least send my children to university. So you see graduates, you cut it up. That represents the vision. And then you use glue, or if you like, get some good banku, and then you use that to paste all these pictures in a board, and then get it framed nicely. And put it where you see every day.
Okay.
I have 2.
Okay. You have 2?
Yes, there's one in my washroom and there's one just before I exit my bedroom.
Okay.
And so just before I exit my bedroom, what I see is my vision board. And then the bedroom one is the washroom one is a different one.
Okay.
And so I see 2 vision boards representing 2 things I want to do with my life every day.
Every day.
My children have it in their rooms. They have their vision board.
They also have their vision board.
Letitia has a vision board.
Okay.
We got together as a family and did that about 2 or 3 years ago. So everybody in the house has their vision board. And they see it every day.
What a good way to start with your children, getting them to have a vision board.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick up that one too.
Even though I think some of them have since changed what they want to do, but the vision board is still there and talks to them every day.
Sure.
Yeah. The third element is the current situation. So now you have a purpose for the goal or the priority. You have an envisioned future of what it will look like when you have achieved it. Then what is the current situation? So let's take your extra income priority. What's the current situation? By 31st night, you want to have 200,000 Ghana cedis in your account. But currently, you have 6,570 Ghana cedis.
You have to add the 70. Oh my goodness.
And 73 pesos.
It's just like you just mentioned someone's salary.
So that's yes.
Okay.
So that's the current situation. That's what you have in your account. But you are believing God that if you follow your priorities and you did all you want to say, you will get the ambition for. Now, the land one, what's the current situation? I have cited a land I'm interested in. I've gone to see the chief. I have made part payment. That's the current situation.
Okay.
Current situation with my spouse is that, yeah, we are good. Most times we are very okay, but sometimes there's an intractable issue that tends to draw a wedge between us, and we'll try and work on it this year. So that's the current situation. So the current situation, you are being brutally honest and frank with yourself that this year, this is where I am. Those of us in development, we call it baseline. So what's your baseline, even as you start working on your goals and dreams for this year? So that's the current situation. And then with the children go for, oh, I want to educate my children to university level at least. But currently, the elder one is in JHS 2, the younger one is in class 6. That's the current situation. They are doing very well in school. I'm happy with the academic performance. That's the current situation. So you just list it in bullet points. And then the final one is the specific actions.
Specific actions.
Specific actions.
Okay.
So now you have set yourself 4 priorities for 2023. You have a purpose for each one. You have an envisioned future for each one. You have a current situation for each one. And you have now, what are the specific things you are committing to do to achieve them? Very specific. Specific things you want to do to achieve each of your goals. And so with the extra income goal, the specific action is I will save 1,000 Ghana cedis every month and put it in something account so that I can invest it in my dream business. I'll go for a loan from this bank so that I can pursue that action. Specific commitments. Add an end date to the specific actions.
Add an end date?
Yes, add an end date. So I'll go for a loan latest 14 February. I will save 1,000 Ghana cedis by the 25th of every month. I am going to issue a standing order to my bank to effect that. So very specific. Our mind cannot imagine hazy pictures. Everything must be very clear. And so you give yourself specific things you are going to do. So, sorry. With the spouse thing, you say, we will have dinner every 2 weeks.
Okay.
We'll go for a stroll every Saturday night. We will, so what are you going to do? We'll spend the last 30 minutes every night talking. So specific commitments that if you did them, it will help you to achieve the goal. So you're asking yourself, what must I do to achieve this goal? Clear, very specific. So this is the 4 part. If you did this, chances are that you are going to achieve that goal you've been dreaming of, you've been thinking of, and you've been praying for. It takes work, it takes commitment, you must do something. Okay. God will do his part, but he also asks us to do our part. Even when he rained manna, no ye levy, no nothing. When he rained manna for free, people had to get out of their tent to collect it.
Yes.
And there were clear instructions in terms of what they must do. So God will always do his part, but we must also do our part. And what I see as I go around the country and other countries to talk to, especially Christian brethren, is that we are becoming too mentally lazy. We are becoming, that's why yesterday I was on about we should let our pastors rest. We are becoming too mentally lazy. We need to act. We need to own Ghana. We need to own the space. And we do that by acting. A lot of Christians have very poor attitude outside of church. And I think this year we need to change that so that Christians can take the commanding heights of this economy. But a lot of us have poor attitude. A lot of us don't want to put in the work. We forget that even when manna draw, you need to work to pick it. Why didn't God say that every lunchtime, come and open your mouth, I'll drop the manna from the sky. Just eat as much as you can, drink water and go. I said, no, you must pick it. You must do the work. And we don't want to do the work. Somebody comes to work late, and then they are doing their devotion before they start work. In the office.
In between offering counseling.
Yes. And busy. Being WhatsApp administrator when there's an assignment that they must do. So this year, please put in the work, put in the specific actions and the commitment, and see what God will do for you. And then focus on your work. Focus on less. Don't encumber yourself with too many things. Otherwise, then you are jack of all trades and master of none. Focus. 1, 2, 3. Is it your work that you want to focus on? Maybe you realize that you are not really growing in the workplace. Every time there's a strategic assignment, they give it to somebody else. Every time, and then you are just there, you are just, as somebody will say, perambulating. But this year you want to take your work seriously so that you can rise up on the corporate ladder and then rise up to a higher level of income. This year we watch too much TV. You know, you are busy following a series. Meanwhile, there's work that you must deliver and you can make extra income. A lot of us will be amazed at what we would achieve if we can even structure. You remember last year we did purpose discovery.
Yes.
If we would even structure our talents, we'll be amazed at how much revenue we'll make just by deploying our talents. Or there's a series B. Is it Kumkum Pachao?
Kumkum Bag, yeah. Is that series still running? It's
all that Kumkum something you watch. How much money did that make you? Meanwhile, that 1 hour or 30 minutes every day, you could have edited somebody's manuscript and earn 100 Ghana cedis every night. And so this year, structure your life. If you repeat how you lived in 2022, you will get 2022 results. And it's nature. What you put in is what you get. So you can get all the archbishops in Ghana can come together and pray for you and lay their hands over you. If you don't focus on your specific actions and the commitments, nothing will change in your life. Because even when Jesus did a miracle, there was a human part that people must do. He said, roll over the stone.
Rolling over.
Yes, he said, roll over the stone. So there is a human part that we must do, and then the divine will come and meet our humanity. That's where we experience our miracles.
The IMDrive, this is Sunny 88.7 FM, and I gather this is where you're wrapping up for today, if I'm right.
You are very right.
Okay, and then we continue with tomorrow. So in terms of our priorities, we need to ask what's the purpose.
Good.
We need to be able to envision the future and also analyze our current situation, where we are right now.
Good.
And also what we need to, what's our baseline, what we need to start working on as we envision the future, and then specific actions.
For each of the goals.
For each of the goals.
That's
and
right.
you recommend we do not more than four at most.
And it becomes too cumbersome.
Because albatross around
Exactly. And then you spread yourself too thin.
Okay.
But as I keep saying, it doesn't mean you won't do other things. But this is the priority and the focus.
Okay.
And tomorrow I'll provide a system for how to actually keep this in check. Because you see, we've all started the year with Vim.
Yeah.
And I like what Sunny is doing now, supporting us every day with something that we'll do to be able to own the year. But research indicates by second week of February, it tapers off.
Yeah.
And Vim goes down.
That's an yes, so way be.
Especially when some small problem rears its head in the middle of the year, and we tend to forget everything we have promised ourselves, and we are back to square one. So it's like a rotary wheel. We just keep turning, but we are not making progress. And so this year, you've got to tell yourself that I'm going to do things very different and keep the momentum going. Tomorrow, we'll talk about how to keep the momentum going.
That's very important.
After you have set these goals.
Okay.
But please, if you've heard us, I encourage you to take a small notebook, write all these things down. The research says, so this is evidence, you are 42% more likely to achieve a goal when you write it down.
Okay.
Just by writing it down. 42% more likely to achieve it. And so take a small notebook, design these things we are talking about from yesterday, and then every week review it, pray over it, and see what God will do with your life this year.
Get your book, put the notes in, try to gather as much as you can, respond to the questions we need to respond, pray on it, and let's see what the Lord will do. And I believe the Lord will do much for us if we put in the actions we need to put in. I'm looking forward to a more impactful year 2023. So, I mean, I've realized personally when I follow the advice that comes in from Mr. Michael, if it does make a difference. So I'm looking forward to a different year 2023, and I'm hoping I'll be able to share that with you also. But I love that, God willing, tomorrow is going to be talking about how we can maintain the momentum, because indeed I find myself sometimes midway, sometimes trials come and this thing happens and you just get swayed off. by the time you open your eyes, it's not like your eyes were closed, but like you really open your eyes and it's November 29 and you're like, what just happened? Time just passed.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about tomorrow. Remember, you can tune into the Start Right series, 8:30 a.m. on the IMDrive. We're also live on Sunny TV. And don't forget, we are crowning all of this with the Start Right conference at Elisa Hotel on the 28th of January. So we're going to be having seasoned speakers. We're going to be touching on various topics, our personal development, our finances, housing. Some of you are looking at housing for this year for your plans. Some of you are looking at maybe purchasing a car. We're also going to be considering the areas of our health. All these we're going to be touching on at the Start Right conference on the 28th of January. So mark that date on your calendar. We will be bringing you more details and how you can get your tickets to join us. Thank you all for joining in this morning. Oh, Douglas my producer sent me a message that came through. Okay, this one says, good morning. I like the priorities. Keep doing the good work. And Charles said, well said. Charles Deborah Mensah, thank you for joining in this morning. Yin Fosia says, great. End Time also says, good morning. End Time also joined us on Facebook. Remember, you can share and be sure to tell others to watch. You can join in the Start Right series also on Sunny TV. This one says, wish my mother Grace Ajani, aka Auntie Grace, a very blessed happy birthday. Cheers to more of God's goodness from your children. We love you. All right, this one says, second week of February. Is it a coincidence that's Valentine's? Good morning, JJD, Mrs. Ohid, and Miss A. Mr. Oheniafa, thank you so much for this series. I'm learning a lot. It's Mami, the highly favored one. Mami, thank you so much for joining in the discussion. And this one says, all right, thanks. So thank you all so much for joining in this morning. We're wrapping up right here on the IMDrive. We're back, God willing, tomorrow. My producer's going to drop in a song for us, and then we're back to officially say bye-bye. So, Michael Oheniafa, thank you so much for coming through this morning.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. Yes.
We see you. All right.
That's
Thank you.